We are going to fight, but we are going to fight because we are trying to make the world a better place. We are not fighting against you. We are not fighting to harm you. We are fighting to build a world or a society or whatever that at the end of the day is going to help you. It's going to help all of us. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sandbox.Space weekly podcast. This is episode 66, and I'm your host, Chris, joined as always by Baby Girl. And Pumpkin is over there. I'm sorry, sweetie. I know you were napping. I interrupted you. This week, we don't have a special guest. It's just little old me. And we can talk about whatever we want. People from the chat want to bring stuff up. But I kind of wanted to just talk about a few things real quick. Um, yeah, there you go, sweetie. There you go. Uh, and I just kind of want to chat. This may be a weird conversation, and it doesn't really have like a yes or right answer or whatever. Or maybe it does. I don't know. But I just wanted to talk about sort of toxicity within the gaming space, which I realize is not a new topic. A lot of people have talked about it forever, but um, I have been watching The Last of Us season two show, and I have been subscribed to the Last of Us Part Two subreddit since the game came out. 5 years ago, actually almost 5 years ago. I think the final episodes, because it came out in early June, I think, of 2020. And that subreddit is just like nonsense garbage. It's just nonstop people complaining about the show, complaining about the game, complaining about the actresses, complaining about the casting, just mostly complaining about Bella Ramsey in a weird way. And it's just one of those things where it's like, dudes, like this game's been out for 5 years and you're still sitting there typing on, you know, you want to sit down? She's readjusting. Um, so anyway, yeah, you're just sitting there like you're still complaining on Reddit. Like, first of all, if I'm gonna be blunt, like it's just fucking pathetic. Like you're wasting your life here. If you don't like the game, okay. If you don't like the show, okay. I don't know. Make one post about it, I guess. Vent if you really feel like you need to, even though I think that's a waste of time. But like you're wasting your life. The only one losing here is you. You're not doing anything to the fans. You're not doing anything to the creators. You're just making people's lives miserable. But more importantly, you're making your life miserable. And you are, yeah, you're just wasting your life. Life is precious, and you're sitting around typing nonsense out. It's just like, guys, let it go. Go do something else. Go find something else that you enjoy doing. Um, the wall of anonymity plus a lack of consequences equals dystopian hellscape. Yeah, I think that is a part of it. I definitely think um, I've never been a big fan of social media to begin with. Like I had Facebook early on when it first came out, and it was only for you had to be in college to be able to get a Facebook account. I was a freshman, I think. Um, but like I have a Twitter account. I rarely post on it. I'm doing some stuff for my my potential U.S. Senate campaign. Um, but other than that, like I just never really got I don't know, the value of spending all this time posting stuff, sending it out into the ether, and then uh, starting arguments or whatever. Like I can kind of get a little bit of the fun from trolling, but even that just kind of gets lame after a while. That's like something that should be fun when you're like 13 and you think it's fun to like, prank call people. But then after that, it's just like grow up, you know? And just to see this folks. Now we're going to talk about something in a second that might be an asterisk on this whole thing, right? But we'll get back to that. Uh, but ultimately, at the end of the day, like you've got things you should be doing. You have a life you should be living, and you're just sitting around griping. Like I realize the go outside, touch grass thing is kind of like a little silly, and it's used a lot to insult video gamers in a way that I think is not really appropriate, and I also think very dismissive of video gaming as a hobby, as something that you enjoy doing. But also, like, go out and touch grass, go out and experience the world. You don't know everything. Chances are these people have never created anything ever. They don't understand how hard it is. They don't understand the process of creation. Certainly when it comes to The Last of Us Part 2, that game is very, and the show in some respects, but definitely the game is very good at sort of sifting out people that have empathy to people who don't. Like that game is all about perspectives and empathy. And so the people that are losing their minds over all of this stuff uh, are clearly showing, you want to get down, sweetheart? Clearly showing that they do not really have the skill set to empathize with others. Um, and so it's a very sad just sort of place to be. Like really just get off the internet and go live your life, which I realize is kind of funny from a guy who is um broadcasting to you from the internet, live from the internet. Let me adjust this a little bit. There we go. Uh so like I get a little bit of the irony there, but also I'm going to record this video. And then right afterwards, I'm going to put the video in my software. I'm going to do some quick edits, and then I'm going to tell it to export. And then I'm going to walk away and I'm going to lunch with a friend who I've known for over a decade, but never actually hung out and had like lunch with her or anything. So I'm trying to go and spend time with friends, uh, lunches, drinks, whatever, just little bits here and there. And so I'm just going to go hang out with her for an hour, right? Like, I'm sure you all have friends and family you could be spending time with. Um, and aren't you just bored of it? Like, isn't just like sitting there typing this nonsense? I would find it just extremely boring. I would want to go do something else. Like, maybe you're deriving some pleasure because other people are validating what you are saying. Uh, but are you really getting anywhere? Like, who the fuck are these people? Do you even know them? Do you even know, are they even real? Are they could be totally be bots. Uh, I think it's easy to critique people who express that kind of negativity, and there's personal responsibility for sure, but also we had a major breakdown of social structures which allow people to interact in real life as well. God, this monitor's got the smallest text. It's demonstrably more difficult to be known now. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess, but like, I don't know if that's true. I think that's something that we feel is true. I think people believe like because social media is this giant encompassing monster that we don't have real relationships. We have like these parasocial relationships and stuff, but like you choose to be a part of that. You don't have to be on Twitter. You don't have to be on Twitch. You don't have to be on Reddit. You can go and take a painting class or a gardening class or go to the gym and meet people. Hell, I work Tuesday nights, one night a week. I work the front desk of my local gym. It's a small like independent gym. There's just one location. It's not like a big we call it like Planet Fitness or Esporta or whatever. I don't work there because I necessarily need the money. It's like a minimum wage job. I don't make a lot of money on it. I work there so that I can get out of the house a little bit and meet people because I work from home. And I noticed this was I think I'm coming up on 3 years. Yeah, I think I started in October, so about 2.5 years I've worked there, I think. And I remember I walked out because I went to that gym. So I walked out one day and I saw the manager there, the guy who owns it. I was like, "Hey man, do you guys like need any help or anything?" And he's like, "Well, this is kind of like a minimum wage job for like high schoolers and college students." I was like, I get that. I was like, I don't really need the money. I just kind of want to be out a little bit doing something and meeting and talking to new people. And he was like, I think he was a little apprehensive because he thought maybe I'd get bored or something of it or whatever. Uh, But that was 2.5 years ago, and I show up every Tuesday, and I work the front desk. I help people out. I close the place up, so I close it at 9, which means I'm the one like out there mopping the floors, like I mop the entire gym, and I make enough money that it pays for my personal trainer. I do a personal trainer once a week who was helping me like rehab my shoulder because I injured my shoulder. So I work with him once a week, and then I get a free gym membership because I work there. And so I make enough to do, I get four, in essence, free, even though I'm working, sessions, which is kind of funny because I work 4 hours a week, which is after tax is the equivalent to paying him for a 1 hour session. So I work 4 hours to pay for the 1 hour that my personal trainer gives me. Um, but then, I get the free gym membership or whatever, and I'm there 4 days a week usually. And I intentionally did that because even though I like working from home, I like, having baby and pumpkin around. Uh, I just needed to get out and I just needed to meet people. I just noticed I was just at home all the time. And as much as I love Baby and Pumpkin, they're not the best conversationalists. It's hard to have good conversations with them. So I just did that. I mean, go do that. Go find a job outside, or again, join a group that's I don't know, a walking club or an art club or learn a new skill or whatever, go be a mechanic and join a mechanics club. We're in spring now, spring and summer. There's always car shows like at our park over here. So yeah, I just don't know. Um, yeah, I do have a lot of compassion for lonely people. Yeah, I get that, Caleb. Like I'm not diminishing lonely people. What I'm saying is that you're not solving that problem, right? If you're feeling lonely, the way to build interpersonal relationships, strong relationships, is to go out and writing negative posts. I would also say too, just as a side thing, like, do you really want to be friends with those people? Like the people that there's this thing, how true it is, whatever, but there's a kind of productivity thing where it's like you're sort of the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with, that you spend the most time with. So I've always tried to surround myself with people that are better than me at things. So Tom, which is in our chat right now, our lead programmer, I do not know anything about programming. I don't know how to program, but I talk to him so that I can at least understand at a high level the design and engineering decisions that we might need to make on a piece of software or a platform or a game or whatever we're doing. You still don't want me coding this thing. You don't want me touching any of it, but at least I understand and I can ask questions about how we can move forward. Plus, Tom's a great guy. So, hey, Tom. Uh, but yeah, you should surround yourself with people that are better than you in the sense that they have different skills that you can learn from, but also people that are positive and supportive of you. And I totally get what it's like to be lonely. I've had very, very, very deep, dark periods in my life where I just felt absolutely, completely lonely. But the answer to that is to not isolate yourself, uh, and definitely not to spend time with people that are negative, that are just going to feed that isolation, or even worse, people that are going to take advantage of that feeling and move you or get you to do something because they're creating a sense of community with you, which is not real. They're just using you. And so I think that that's really, really sad. But I think that yes, I agree. The internet is easy, and but again, you mentioned personal responsibility. If you want to phrase it that way, that's fine. You have to take account for your own life, and you have to go out there and do things and live in this world. Um, and I've always liked the phrase "knowledge without action is entertainment." And so there's a lot of like really smart people that like know a lot of stuff because they're just like constantly reading and watching shows and YouTube videos about stuff, which is great, but you never put it into practice. Like, how are you using these things to make the world a better place, make your life better? And you might find that if you start to take that step, that you will gain friends. You will remove some of that loneliness, and I think you'll also start to have a greater respect for yourself. And when you kind of have when you enter into that position where you have a little bit of greater respect for yourself, and I don't mean this like, I know what I'm worth, F you kind of thing, not that, but like just an understanding of who you are and what's important to you, then being lonely starts to look different. Being lonely is less about like, oh man, I'm stuck in this room by myself and I'm a loser and I have no one to talk to or whatever you might be feeling. And it's more about I am choosing when to engage with people and I am choosing when to be alone so that I can do my own things on whatever that might be. And we're all on that like introvert to extrovert scale, right? So some people going out and talking with a lot of people energizes them. I'm an introvert at heart. So sometimes when I go out and I do a lot of stuff like you mentioned COG, our Central Ohio Game Dev group, thecog.com. If you're want to be a part of that, feel free. Um, and I go do, I lead a lot of things. I run businesses. I'm doing a lot of talks. Like that stuff's draining for me for sure. And sometimes I just need to come back home here and recharge. Uh, but I'm also, for me, this is what works for me. So you can take it or leave it. I know there's a bunch of things I want to do, and I know that I'm not the person that I want to be. I want to be better. I want to be more knowledgeable. I want to have more skills. So what I do, because I know I'm also an introvert, and if given the choice between doing certain things, I probably most of the time stay home and do whatever. I put myself in a position where I have to go and do the thing. Like I take guitar lessons every week. I'm expected to be there. I don't practice nearly as much as I should, but I'm expected to be there, and so I go. Um, I put myself in a situation where I need to go do the thing, uh, and so I go and do it. And so the next thing or the next couple of things I'm going to try to do are I want to start taking piano lessons, and I want to start taking Taekwondo. So to do that, I'm just going to call up the Taekwondo instructor who's actually kind of right next to my gym, and I'm just going to talk to her and get something on the books. So now I have an appointment. Now I have an obligation. Now I can go and do that, uh, and it'll force me to sort of do that. So that's the big thing is I have to force myself into these situations. But once I'm there, uh, I usually really, really enjoy it. It reminds me, I used to like when I went out to dance clubs or bars or whatever back in the day. There'd be some nights because most of them don't you're not even really getting started until like 11. There was always sort of a joke, which was the oh, I gotta check something real fast. Make sure my okay. Um, sorry, I want to do this. I need to make an adjustment on something. Okay. There was always sort of a joke that when you go to a dance club, like the party doesn't really start till the gays come out, and that doesn't generally happen until like at least 11, but usually like midnight. And so there'd be a lot of times where it's like 8:30. I was like, oh man, I don't want to go out and go to this club. But when I finally get there, I have a good time. So a lot of it for me is just getting there, and being a part of it. They say like showing up is half the battle or whatever. So that's a big thing for me. Tom, publicly pursuing your passion is such a great way to make the deepest kinds of friendships. Yeah, totally. Go find things that you actually like or enjoy or that you think you might like. And you might know, you go take a painting class and you'll find some people there that maybe share other interests. Or I used to volunteer at the Physicians Free Clinic here in Columbus. That was on Monday night. And I think we usually wrapped up, if I remember correctly, it started at like 5 and we usually wrapped up like 9 or 9:30. And then afterwards, we all went to a Mexican restaurant down near campus, and we would go and grab a little bit of food and grab a drink. And so we'd end up wrapping up, 11:30 or something. And it was just a fun way. Like there was med students that would come, doctors that would come, some of the administrators who ran the uh, free clinic would come, And so it was just like a really great way to connect with people um, in in a different environment other than kind of the work environment that you were just at. Speaking of touching grass, I finally got my lawn mowed this year, and it took 5 minutes to sit on my bench with my bare feet in the grass and just close my eyes. Yeah, totally. I used to really like, I have an apartment now, I don't have to mow the grass, but I used to really like mowing the grass. Um, I'd go and take you 30 or 40 minutes or whatever. And yeah, got a little workout from it. Sometimes on those hot days, it became less fun. But yeah, I mean, there's all those little things. I did do a video yesterday about uh for my possible Senate campaign. You can find it Volpe for America. It's on YouTube and all the socials, all one word. But I did a video about finding your calm, and I think that it's really easy with all this just noise that's happening and just being inundated constantly to get you're just we're all operating on this like really high anxiety level. And so if you can find time during the week, and I'm just talking like little snippets of time, like you said, just hanging out outside for 5 minutes where you can just sort of like get yourself back to a baseline, it's really important because if you can remember what that baseline feels like, then you can bring yourself back there intentionally throughout the week, particularly when you're having maybe more stressful time. I've started doing it actually when I go to bed. I curl up into bed. I've got babies there, pumpkins usually in bed. And before I fall asleep, when it's just dark and quiet, I kind of just I just be still. I'm not trying to think about something. I'm not trying to solve any problems. I'm not trying to like go over my day and think about how I could be more productive. I just lay there and I just am for a little bit. And so it definitely, I think it definitely helps just give you a little refresh. And then usually I'm so exhausted, so I just end up passing out while I'm doing it. So it's kind of like I'm meditating and then I just meditate into sleep. Um, but anyway, it's, excuse me. I think it's really important for all of us right now to add positivity and constructive criticism for things, but make it constructive. And by positivity, I don't mean just like head in the sky, positive all the time, but add a little bit of positivity to it. There's a really interesting study. It's probably like 20 years old now, maybe even more, but it was looking at people and it looked at the ratio of positive thoughts to negative thoughts, or maybe it was negative to positive, whatever it was. And the thing is, if you are kind of on the low scale of like you have like three positive thoughts or lower for every uh, negative thought you have, then that means you're kind of in like a pretty negative area. Oh, hold on. I think my sound has been. How's this? Is this better? My sound was on the. Let me double check this too, real quick. Mm-hmm. Yep. There we go. I think we're on the good sound now. Let me check. Are we on the good sound? The better sound? Yeah, there we go. This is this mic. I was using these. Okay, good. All right, now we're better. It every time I can, it just defaults to my AirPods. Anyway, we're not going to worry about that. Um, uh, yeah, well, that's good. But anyway, so you know, if you have the positive thoughts, and then if you end up being like, I don't remember the number. It's like 8 or 10 uh, positive thoughts per negative thought. Then that's also bad because you're kind of living with your head in the clouds and you're not acknowledging reality. So they've found that around 5 like positive thoughts to negative thoughts is about the ratio that's healthy for people, which is actually really interesting because 5 is a magic number that comes up a lot
in psychology. So when you're thinking about like things you can keep track of in your mind, uh, the number five comes about a lot. Like five is about the number that people can kind of keep track of simultaneously in their mind of various things going on. Once you start getting over five, it begins to become more complicated and people forget things. Five is also the number. There's a system, it's called NIMS. I assume it still exists, but it's a security sort of system. And it's like what happens in a natural disaster, how emergency services can start to like organize themselves into this sort of informal structure. So, if you're just going about your normal life in the city, usually like the police department and the fire department handle most situations, right? But if you get into a natural disaster or something, then you might be bringing in the National Guard. Maybe the FBI is coming on. Maybe National Security or CIA or something is coming on as well. And so what they do is they start to form into a hierarchy, usually led by the local leadership. So the FBI doesn't come in and take over. The FBI comes in and then sort of inserts itself in a way based on what local emergency services might want. And the idea is that you structure yourself very quickly into a hierarchy of chain of command in which you have five people, no more than five people under you. And that way, five people report to you, and then there might be five people that report to them. Now, this isn't a hard and fast rule, obviously. Like, you don't stop at five, but usually five is about once you start getting over five, you start making some decisions because you don't want like 20 people reporting to you. But we found that allows humans to really effectively and efficiently run teams if you kind of keep it in that sort of five space. Another thing is decisions. There's a really good book called The Paradox of Choice. I might have it on my bookshelf over there, but it talks about how it uses jeans as an example. How when he was growing up, you only had a couple pairs of jeans, a couple styles. Maybe you had like two colors. And then you had, maybe a male cut and a female cut, and that was all you got, and you just kind of chose it. Now we have all sorts of shapes, sizes, styles, colors, everything. And what research is finding is that people are going shopping. It causes them a lot of anxiety. They feel like they picked the perfect pair of jeans based on all of these metrics. They get them home and they wear them a couple of times, and we all just kind of feel like, it could be better. Like we've created this system because there's so many choices. It sort of tricks our brain into feeling that we're going to be able to find the perfect thing, the perfect pair of jeans, the perfect shoes, whatever. When in reality, like those things just don't really exist, right? And if you're lucky to find the perfect pair of shoes or whatever, that's great. But that's an exception. That's not the rule. And so people find when you give people choices, again, for food or clothes or whatever, where there's about five-ish choices, then that ends up putting people into a position where they feel like their decisions, they're quickly make a decision, and then they feel more satisfied with the decision that was made. So just a little interesting psychological research thing. Caleb, why/how do some multiplayer games seem to create more positive experiences while others create more negative? Oh, that is a great question. I'm not sure if anybody knows exactly the answer. I don't know if you can kind of really curate it, but it is really wild how some communities just seem to have really strong. Even The Last of Us, right? If you look at The Last of Us, I think it's Last of Us HBO is what the subreddit is called. And that's kind of specifically popped up for the TV show. That one tends to be incredibly positive. Like people are really enjoying the show, even though it's heartbreaking, and they have fan theories and they're talking about it. Whereas the game, Last of Us Part 2 subreddit, is filled with toxicity and negativity. So it's like the same kind of the same product, definitely the same overarching story and experience, is getting very different results. And so I think for me, that, and again, I don't know, right? So I'll make a comment here. I look at COG, I look at GDEX. I look at the incubator and the accelerator. I look at this podcast and this channel. And I think a lot of it is because I and our team have cultivated a set of expectations for what we want to create. We have a vision for the community that we want. And we create clear expectations on behavior for that. And if people come in, I kind of consider it a responsibility of myself to help guide people and move them. So if somebody makes a mistake, or maybe they're not acting in a way that I would like them to act, I'll talk to them and I'll be like, hey, this is the expectations. This is what we expect from people, and give them a chance to kind of learn, a learning lesson, if you want to call it that, which I think, Caleb, ties into your some of your points from earlier, where you might have a lot of people that don't have a lot of experience. Maybe they are lonely, they're not quite sure how to interact with people in this way, and so we give them an opportunity. Plus, we're gamers, we're kind of weird anyway. We have a lot of people on the spectrum, and so a lot of folks coming from different angles and backgrounds. And so I just kind of try to be like, hey, this is the community we have. We want people to feel welcome. We expect our conversations to be like in an adult, mature level. We expect mutual respect, and that you're going to listen to people and give folks a chance to kind of learn from that. But if they can't and they just keep pushing the button, then we tell them to leave. Hasn't happened very often, but we have had to, have people at GDEX or in the community, we've asked them not to come back, things like that. But it doesn't happen super often. But I think ultimately, you have to cultivate that environment by setting a vision from the top, and then you need enough people kind of at the bottom, if you want to say at the grassroots, that understand that vision and have that sort of heart of a teacher and a community organizer and want to help people, but also are not going to tolerate poor behavior. It's almost, it sounds silly, but it's almost like a kid's, like a kindergarten classroom or something, or a first through fifth grade classroom where you have to set the expectations on how you treat people and what is happening here. The tyranny of choice. Yeah, that has to do with the paradox of choice. Also between interactions within the game itself and outside of the game, and the meta conversations. Oh yeah. I think the meta conversations are always really interesting. The Last of Us 2 is particularly interesting as well, because that game is specifically designed to play with the players. Its structure, its story, how it pieces things together is intentionally screwing with the players in a very obvious way. And I think it's doing some really cool stuff that other video games are not doing. It's challenging the player. There is a great, here, let me grab it. If you have not played The Last of Us Part 2, I probably would not do it, but I'm going to grab two videos here. Okay, so I'm going to put in these three videos. I'll put these in the, actually, I'll do 4 videos. Just give me 1 second while I pull them up. Okay, so let me grab these. So these are, oh my Lord, stop. Okay. Oops, I didn't want to do it. I'll do it on, oh, am I on that again? Ugh. I've got, baby, relax, sweet pea. Okay, there's that. There's, so it's girlfriend reviews and then donkeys on Last of Us Part 2. they are both really, really good at kind of discussing what The Last of Us, and The Last of Us Part 2 has got, it's got analysis up the wazoo, right? So I wouldn't get too caught in all of that. But what? Do you want to come up? Come here. Give me 1 second. Sorry, it was treat time. Baby was driving me crazy. No, I came back. Tom, I was about to block you with your content there. So anyway, yeah. But yeah, I just want to kind of talk about that because I'm as I have been kind of doing this running for Senate thing. I am not currently a candidate, not an official candidate, just so people know. But I've been talking to a lot of people, and I've been seeing just this. There's a combination between being exhausted and people are getting angry, but also there's this little light that's I could see in people where they don't want to be this way. They don't want to live in this like anger zone anymore. And these people are wanting to build a better world and life for those around them. And that's been sort of like a reinvigorating, maybe reinvigorating is not the right word, but it's definitely been a very positive experience where I'm seeing a lot of folks being like, we are going to fight, but we are going to fight because we are trying to make the world a better place. We are not fighting against you. We are not fighting to harm you. We are fighting to build a world or a society or whatever that at the end of the day is going to help you. It's going to help all of us. And I think that the more people we can get out of these negative spirals, the better. And to be honest, I was really thinking about it this morning because I knew I wanted to do a little talk, a video about something for the campaign, and then I had the show coming up. And I was really thinking about it as like, we just need to get off of social media, like all of us. I know that's hard to pull that away because there is that pull, that dopamine drip. But I would remind everybody that these platforms are intentionally trying to get us on there. They are using gambling techniques, what are often called Skinner box techniques, which are addiction loops to keep us on. And they're not doing it because it's good for us. They're doing it because that's how they generate revenue. And I've asked people to go on, whatever their platform is, like Facebook or whatever, and just spend a minute or two scrolling and look at every post, like actively look at every post and be like, do I care about this? Do I care about this? Do I care about this? And just do that for like 2 minutes. You can even write it down if you want to. First post, check. Next post, X. Next post, X. Next post, X. And you'll start to notice, particularly on Facebook, I've seen how many of those posts are advertisements, how many of those are from some group that you don't care at all about, but they're like, you might be interested in. I'm like, I'm never interested in these posts. Never. And how many of them are making you feel good, right? Not making you feel right or special or whatever, but just making you, how many of them make you angry or are getting your, raising your blood pressure or whatever. And I think you'll find that the vast majority of the content that you're looking up and consuming is having a deleterious effect on you. It is making you feel awful. It is not helping you in any meaningful way. And our brains are pattern recognition machines. And if that's the input that they're constantly getting, if that's the stimulus, is this anxiety stimulus all the time, hey, Pumpkin, then it's no wonder that that's how we feel. It's no wonder that we feel anxious and tired and angry all the time. So that is my suggestion. Take it for whatever it's worth. I'm just a guy talking on the internet. Hopefully, I'm helping to make people's lives better. Can we just start with getting people off their phones while they're driving? We certainly could try. That would be nice. Hi, Pumps. You can also get a pretty kitty. Kitties are good at de-stressing sometimes. She also has a tendency to drive me freaking crazy sometimes. Yeah, get off social media except for our Twitch/YouTube channels. Hey, the way I look at this too is like I'm creating content and I'm trying to create content that actually can be useful. You know, we have these conversations with game devs that come on here, and that's specifically so that people in the community can listen and learn and improve themselves. GDEX exists to. All right, Pumps, I gotta get you. I gotta take you out. You're driving me crazy. To create opportunities for people, right? And if our channel isn't providing you any value, then yeah, mosey on somewhere else. But I try to make sure that I don't spend a bunch of time like this. Maybe this is an exception to the rule, but even this, I'm trying to hopefully be a little positive and helpful. But like, I don't do tons of videos complaining constantly about the game industry. You know, I'm not creating these 5-minute reaction videos to like, oh, this person said this person and now I have to react because this person has way more viewers than I do, and if I react to it then I'll get some sloth of their viewers coming on over. I'm not trying to cause trouble or consternation or anything. I'm just trying to create content that is useful, and hopefully as a game developer or creative artist or whatever, you will find some value in it. So I don't know. I mean, do you guys find value in these shows? Like, you keep showing up, so I assume you do. Yeah, I'm kind of curious too. Like, I know I tend to have a lot more faith, I think, in people than a lot of other folks do. And I'm wondering if we will see kind of another kind of like renaissance maybe of people who are looking for more deep, personal, meaningful connections and meaningful activities. And I think we are, because we're starting to see that a lot in the health space. We see a lot of focus on healthy, eating. Now, some of that ventures into like nonsense, whatever territory where it's just like, eat this stuff and not this stuff, and like there's no actual basis for it. It's all just nonsense, scammy stuff. But I definitely see a lot of people wanting to be more engaged in the arts, more people wanting to be engaged in music, people wanting to do things like volunteer more. So I don't know. I think there is something. Eventually, Dave Ramsey says this all the time. He talks about it in a financial sense, and whatever you think about Dave, that's up to you. But I do always like the phrase, like, eventually you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And at some point, you just get tired of living the life that you're living, and you want to go do something else. And when you realize that you can go out and do something special and make yourself better and find better experiences with people that you care about or that you love, like, as soon as you realize you have that level of control over your life, you can really do anything you want. It doesn't mean it's easy. It's still tiring and it still requires a lot of effort, but just having that realization that you are capable of learning and being better and growing, when that that key unlocks in your brain or whatever, like, it's pretty phenomenal. Walkable areas, yeah, totally. I think we totally need more focus on walkable areas. All right. Well, we're getting close to the end here. Is there anything else anybody wants to talk about before we wrap up? I've got a couple cool guests that I'm trying to bring in over the next couple of months. So we'll work on doing that. But is there anything else on anyone's mind? Looks like it's about to rain here. Surprise, surprise, raining in Ohio. How's planning for the big show going? Planning for GDEX is going well. We are not where we want to be. We're behind, so we're really, really pushing. What we just really need is people to spread the word. So I kind of need to finish creating some content and get it out to people so that maybe we'll do a community event in June. But yeah, we just need to keep spreading the word, getting more. We need more developers in right now, getting some booths. That'd be great. But I think it's going to be a really fun show. Working with Korgs, it is going to be a really, I think, good combination of people. And so, yeah, I think this is going to be a really special year. But we got a lot to do. So, yeah, don't forget, you can go to www.thegdex.com. And, we still need volunteers, developers, if you want to speak at the event, and now is the time. Yes, please volunteer. We actually are doing pretty good on volunteers. We need more, don't get me wrong. But I think we are... Here, let me see while we're chatting. We currently have about half the number of volunteers that we need, which is not too bad considering we still have about 105 days to go. So that's good. Oops, I didn't mean that. Cool. Well, Caleb, we always appreciate you leading and helping out. You are definitely, you're on the front lines. You've got your armor and your shield and your sword, helping us bring this thing across the line, or whatever combination of metaphors we want to use. Wow, year 11. So you've only, and this will be year 13. So yeah, you've only missed 2. That's pretty amazing. I can't believe it's been 13 years of us doing this. All right. Well, this seems like a pretty good place to stop. So we'll go ahead and stop here for episode 66 of the Sandbox.Space Weekly Podcast. I, of course, am Chris, joined as always by Pumpkin, who's right here. Baby girl, who's over there. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for the comments and conversation. It was really great. We do this every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern on Twitch / the GDEX. We also post it on our Sandbox.Space YouTube channel. So we get those up. I'm slowly moving the old ones over. It's taking a while, so I apologize. But really appreciate you all being here. I look forward to GDEX, www.thegdex.com this year. Please spread the word. We need all the help. We need all the guests we can get. But otherwise, really excited to have you all. There are some brighter days ahead for sure. And so thank you, everybody, for being a part. And we will see you next